On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
It wasn't until he was about to go and he knew he was finna do a stretch. He was finna do the longest amount of time that he had to do. And he knew he wanted to make it right with her. And the story goes that when he went in, he gave us some change to hold down for him until he got out. What happened while he was doing that stretch, she multiplied what he had. And you haven't, since Gucci has been out, you see him now. Remember when he, before he went in, he had the gut, he was out of shape. You see him now, he's working out, he's fit, he's healthy. You don't hear no scandals with Gucci. And it's amazing that people aren't highlighting that part where he got with the woman that actually added value to his life. They still want to talk about.
But he had talked about in his book that she had added value to his life way before he had.
Yeah, you're right. 1000%. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Still affects the community and culture to this day. Dude been with his wife since before he put that song out. Ice Cube been with his wife for years. And these, anyway, just egregious, that you listen to the music and you have people who don't compartmentalize and understand, okay, it's entertainment. Like for me, it's some of it's entertaining. A lot of the new stuff, I can't listen to it. I can't do it. But these guys will give you one message the whole time. They married. It's similar to how y'all talk, like a lot of the content creators in this space that rail against marriage, rail against, nuclear family, so on and so forth, married behind the scenes. So you're giving one message one way, and the people are not, they're only consuming the message that you're putting out, but behind the scenes, you're living a completely different life. That's insane. And
now there is something else that I'm observing too. I'm observing people that really want marriage, but don't have the tools or the information to get into a marriage or make a marriage work.
Do you think that that's more on the guys or the woman's side?
Oh man, listen. I know a lot of men that are enjoying having access to multiple women, but I know a group of men that want to be married. I would say it's more, from my observation, on the woman's side. But maybe it might be equal. But what I am seeing is this. I'm seeing individuals that want it, that don't have the tools, to...
Can you explain that don't have the tools?
Again, as a man, if I want to marry a woman, if I want to be married to a woman, there are certain things that I'm going to have to bring to the table, or that I should bring to the table, even outside of finance. Vision being one of them, purpose being one of them. And not to say marriages can't work without these things, but there are some things as a man and even as a woman that I believe have to be cultivated. As a man, vision, purpose, character, decorum, woman having decorum. These are the intangibles that I think have to be cultivated for one that wants to be in a successful marriage. Anton, you've been married for 17 years, you said?
Yep.
You came into it with vision. Nobody can tell me you didn't have, or you acquired vision when you got into it.
I was very intentional. I knew exactly what I wanted.
That is the word, intentional, deliberate. A lot of people are operating on autopilot. And you cannot operate on autopilot if you want to have a marriage. You've got to be deliberate. You've got to be intentional. And some people I've seen just need to be challenged. And the light bulb goes off. Yeah, I didn't know I wasn't being intentional. I'm telling you, because we're bombarded with pop culture. We're bombarded with so many things. And I'm read a lot of stuff. So there is, aspects of one being socialized by everything external, where they're almost operating on autopilot. They're not intentional with, how they're structuring their life, or they may be intentional in career, but when it comes to marriage.
When I find them to be intentional is when they're about to go to jail.
Right. that's a
everybody that's about to go to jail ready to get married. Or they want to get married when they get the first thing they're gonna do when they get out of jail, they about to get married. Have you thought about that? Like, listen, I read Gucci's book, right?
And he just hit my bill with the comedy. Come on.
Have you thought about that? Everybody want to get their life together.
Talk about that Gucci part though. Go ahead.
I read Gucci Mane's book, right? I read everything. I read everything from Kevin Hart, Gucci Mane, to Richard Branson, to Tony Robbins, to Benjamin Graham. I just read, right? That's when it's not basketball season, that's all I do is read, right? Yep, I got it. Yep, it's right up there. And you know the interesting thing about it is his life was complete chaos. Whatever it is that we want to talk about, his life was complete chaos until he decided he wanted to have a family, he wanted to get married. Then he got his life together. About to go to jail. I need this chick to hold me down, whatever, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And it's just funny. I see the pattern happen every single time. Even if we want to talk about the late, great, what it was, Chadwick, he got married right before he died. Like, he made sure he made that a priority. Yeah. One of the highest priorities on his list was to make sure that he was married before he passed away. Why did he do that? Why? Nobody is asking that question. Why did he do it? We're not asking the right questions. And I know this is probably not the most popular topic, but, you know, people need to reevaluate how it is that they're moving in these streets, because if you're not intentional, then you're walking around like an accident. And if you walk around like an accident, you're waiting for things to happen to you, not controlling the narrative. It's a completely different mindset.
You're reactionary. Yep.
Wait, let me add a little bit more though, Anton, on what you're saying, because I want the young bloods in the chat to understand this. What with bringing up that Gucci example, right? If you remember, Gucci was in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of Rice Street, in and out of Fulton County Jail, getting caught with this, that, and the third, woo-de-woo. In the book, he talks about when he met Keisha Kayor, that she was dope, and whatever she was doing, but she was dope, and he wanted to be with her, but he couldn't commit, he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And it wasn't until he was about to go, and he knew he was finna do a stretch. He was finna do the longest amount of time that he had to do. And he knew he wanted to make it right with her. And the story goes that when he went in, he gave her some change to hold down for him until he got out. What happened while he was doing that stretch, she multiplied what he had. And you haven't, since Gucci has been out, you see him now. Remember before he went in, he had the gut, he was out of shape. You see him now, he's working out, he's fit, he's healthy. You don't hear no scandals with Gucci. And it's amazing that people aren't highlighting that part where he got with the woman that actually added value to his life. They still want to talk about.
But he had talked about in his book that she had added value to his life way before he had.
Yeah, you're right, 1000%.